your input into this process, to hear your voice, and to have all of you here working with us. I do want to say, all of you that are sitting on the side, except for our experts there, we really encourage you to join a table, because that's where the communication is going to happen. That's where your input will be received, and we really encourage you to join one of the tables to give us some input tonight for our activities. I'm going to turn it over to one of our chairpersons, Mr. Mike Shepard, to kind of get us kicked off and ready to go tonight. So, Mr. Shepard.
Thank you, Dr. Knowlton.
Real quick, Chris just reminded me to say this, and so I want to do this really quick. We want as many people involved in this process as possible. So all of you that are on Facebook, if you would get your phones out right now and get on our Facebook page and share the link to be a part of this, so that all of your friends will jump on and have their voices heard as well, then we will monitor that from the back of the room.
Thank you, Dr. Knowlton. How's everybody? Wow, that was impressive. Okay, so we'll start. This is nothing new that you see on the screen, but we have 7,000, just as a reminder, we have 7,500 homes coming in 5 years, which will deliver 6,000 students in our district. That just scares me just thinking about it, and I'm sure it scares a lot more than myself. Anyhow, that also will put us over capacity just in the next 2 years in every single campus that we have. So one of the first things I want to say, that this committee, we're the leaders in this whole process. We're going to have to be the ones that educate and communicate our needs and the district's overcrowdedness over the next little bit. So over the next few weeks, when you're at Christmas parties, you're at church, you're at family gatherings, it's just very important that we help educate anybody of the dire, I don't want to say dire, but the situation that we're in, the overcrowdedness. So please help do that. Again, we're the leadership in this. We just need to be sure everybody knows exactly, the concerns the district has with this. Very important tonight. Everybody gives input. Share with your group and your table as well. So, okay, Ms. Chris, I believe you're up.
There we go. Thank you, sir. We are in meeting 3 of this process. As you can see, meeting 1, we went through the introductions, the demographics of how we get to that 7,500 figure, that 6,000 student figure. Last time we were here, we were identifying the things that we all thought were important. Tonight, we're going to prioritize those things so that this group can put together the package that gets presented to the board for this potential bond. Tonight, we're going to go through introductions, campus population projections. We're going to recap and review, and we're going to have our group breakout discussions. That's where we all are going to get to prioritize both individually and as a group. So please give us your thoughts so that we can sort all this out. And as Mike was mentioning, please share this with your friends and family as you're out and about in the next few weeks, because our next meeting is the one that's going to be super important, and that's where we decide what we're actually going to present to the board.
Okay, so I just want to give you some information today. I think you've met a lot of people that are here to help advise us and help us through this process, but we do have several experts in the room tonight that I want us to use as we're going through tonight's activity, and so I just want to introduce these guys. So first we have WRA, which is our architect firm. We have Jeff, who is here, Alex, who is here, Mike, who is here. I didn't know where you went, and Natalie, who is here from WRA to help us with our process. We also have in the room tonight our financial advisor, Live Oak Financial, is who we use as our financial advisor, and Christian Merritt is here with us. Christian drives up from Austin each time we have one of these meetings and drives back the same night. So we're very happy that he comes to join us for this. We also have tonight our third-party representative, person that the district employs to help us through this process and has been working with us on the current bond procedure, and Mr. Patrick Farr, who is over there, will be here tonight to help us. And then we just recently entered into a new partnership. We've been in partnership with Pogue in the past for our projects, and we have just recently started contract negotiations to continue that relationship and partner with them for our construction needs. And so Drew is here tonight with us from Pogue, and we're very excited to have all of these people in the room with us. So thank you, guys. We hope y'all will jump in and help advise and help us through this process. Also want to introduce some of our board members that are here tonight. It's very important. They're trying to get a feel for what this community wants and needs so that they can make good decisions in January and as we move forward. So if you're a board member, please stand up so I don't miss anybody. We've got Jeff in the back, Alicia, Mark, Jana, I almost forgot, Stacy, and Randy over there in the corner. So appreciate these guys being here to be a part of this process and to hear what you have to say and to see what the voice of the community says so that they can make good decisions for the whole district moving forward. So those are the introductions. And I think we're going to move to Jeff now.
Thank you. Okay. I'm going to just go through a couple of charts and graphs. I love charts and graphs. This one that we have up on the board is just a very simple when we're going to be over capacity with the facilities that we have. The chart in the middle, and I'll walk over here because I think everybody can see this one. Christmas tree may block that one from Randy being able to see. So over at this side. The school in the middle here, the elementary school number 3, is going to come online this summer, so we'll be open. That will help the overcrowding that we currently have at McClendon and Neesmith. Edge Middle School on the chart is the only one that next year will be over capacity, but we're working really hard with the district to try to utilize some of the space in Old Edge as swing space, and we're trying to figure out exactly what's the best way to do that. And so we'll be pulling together, and next month we'll be able to show as part of some of the options what the plan could be to maybe make that a 6th grade center for a couple of years or something like that to get through this. But everything else you can see is turning red after 2 years. So how did we get here? 5 years ago, the trajectory was a lot lower, and it started turning in this last 5 years, which is why elementary number 3 got moved up 4 years in the process from what the demographer projected back then, and also the second wing to the high school got moved up 3 years. So we're adjusting to that trajectory change, and everything that we've been talking about seems to still be in time to keep us ahead of the curve coming in. So I've been real pleased with everything that's going so far. Yeah, so I was going to pitch it to Josh here. Oh, I'm going to pitch the mic too. I don't give up the mic very easy, Josh.
From a community member perspective of why the capacity is something we need to be concerned about. In the same way that an overpopulated ecosystem creates more problems for that ecosystem, whenever your classrooms are overcrowded, whenever you're over capacity, you find out things that you wouldn't normally think about. For one, every teacher, whenever they're overcrowded and they're getting less and less one-on-one interaction with your child, they're also dealing with a lot more noise in the room. And dealing with noise in the room, you're also dealing with less focused work on kids who are struggling. You have lower test scores. You have more discipline problems. You have all these things. A key issue to look at with the capacity of our schools and needing to build other schools is so we can hire new staff, we can hire more faculty, and so we can get your child and every child more of that one-on-one interaction, because every kid learns at a different rate, different level, and for us to have a continuing and a thriving special ed program, all these things, we have to have the space to do so. But one of the first things that we always have to meet is you have to educate the child that you have in front of you. Well, our teachers are currently doing that the very best way they can. But whenever you get into a crowded room that's loud and kids are getting less of that one-on-one focus, what you find is people are going to start either moving out of the district to where their kids can be loved and where their kids can be cared for, or you're going to look at increased problems. At community, we don't want to run away from this good opportunity. This is a good opportunity, even though it's coming in a way that we were not expecting anytime soon. We're at a place right now where a lot of people want their family to be a part of our community. And in being part of our community, we want to meet them with a facility and with teachers and with faculty in a way that is going to not just love their child and educate them, but give their kids the very best opportunity for a successful life. And that's another key part of this bond.
Thank you, Josh. That was very well said. So that's the passion that goes with the big red bars on the slide, and just to show everybody where we're going. Okay, this is a big numbers slide, so I'm gonna talk through. I've put these numbers together. There's lots of variables that go into something like this, and the variables are likely going to change over the next month. I've got plans to meet with department heads in January before our next meeting, so make sure we've got square footage and everything. All our assumptions turn into much more educated assumptions because we're bringing more people into the process. So we'll take the information that we get from you guys and narrow a little bit tonight, and then we'll be able to narrow a little bit more in the first couple of weeks and bring back something very informed for January 13th. So got this broken down, and I've made it as big as we could, but the elementary is at the top. Old Edge, which we're calling a swing space. We've called it 5th and 6th swing space for right now, but you can see we used it as 5th grade this year for some of the 5th grade. If it's used, and I say if because just because it's a spreadsheet and the numbers are detailed doesn't mean that this is carved in stone. This is just a starting point to get good input back from you guys. If it's used as a 6th grade swing space, that's going to be a year or two, and then the facilities should catch back up to where we can go back to the 6 through 8 and the K through 5, the formula that's been working and seems like the direction that we'd like to continue in. The middle school campuses, the colored squares are when they come online, and then high school campus, and I'll walk through each one of these. I'm going to start at the top. The green one up there is when elementary number 3 is going to come online. So it's the end of the last bond, it's before this bond, and that's really going to get y'all in position to where you don't have really any overcrowding for 1 year. Then the number that's in red is if we can do another elementary school that'll come online just a little bit more, 13 or 14 months after the bond, which is an extremely tight schedule. It's one of the reasons that we've gone with the CM at risk and that Pogue is here tonight, is to be able to hit the ground running on bond day and not lose any ground so that we can do that. Absolutely.
That changes the whole scenario of having to have 5th and 6th grade in the lit. So if we do open the doors by 23, then we only have to have 6th grade at the old edge, and 5th grade could go into the elementary campus. That's why you see it different. But everyone sort of think that I just decided, no, we're not going to do that. There was a reason, because we thought it was going to take us 2 years to be able to open up that first elementary, but because code is so good at what they do, they had told me that they would be able to open the doors in 23. So we have elementary number 4
Yeah, and I'll add a little bit to that. There's still some hurdles, like having the right piece of land and things like that that people are working on. Lots of different people are working on diligently to try to put the district in the best position that if we can pass the bond, that, like I said, we can hit the ground running. So also, right after the bond, we would get cut loose to start designing really a middle school and addition to the high school. So I don't want to get ahead of myself, but these are some guesses at what people might like. It's one way to go. There's lots of ways to go. I'm going to stick with the elementary just to get through them. At that point, it gets back on a regular cycle of design and construction. So after that first year, which is going to be kind of all hands on deck, then we should be in good position to keep things rolling. So you can see in fall of 24, we'd open another elementary. Fall of 26, so 2 years later, another elementary. And then 3 years later, a 7th elementary, and that would stay ahead. I'm going to say those years, but I'm also going to say that also is very well tied with the numbers here at the bottom. So when I say fall of 2026, another elementary, or 6,800 students, whichever comes first, is when you're going to need that. And we're working with the district to make sure that they can project that within a couple of years to ahead. So it's not something you can decide at the last minute. Yes, good.
So when Jeff and I met on Monday, our enrollment was 3374. When we met on Thursday?
Yes, Thursday.
Thursday? No, that's today. Wednesday.
Yeah.
It was 3384. So you can see that 33, if you look there, what's supposed to be in 21, 22 is 33, 35. So we're closer to what it says our numbers are going to be in 23, 22, 23. So it's really important that we don't give that false impression that this is all 5 or 10 years down the road. It's whenever we hit those numbers, we will have to have those facilities. And I think that's important for our community to know. There's a frustration voice that we had to do things sooner than what we said we were going to do them. So I think people really need to understand it's not about what year we'll do it, it's about when we'll do it by people when kids are here. Because we are already ahead of what our projections are saying.
No, that's perfect. And a lot of what this bond is going to be is you're going to go, as you go out and you're talking with your constituents about this, is really giving the permission to the board to make the decisions as all these fluid things happen and not have to shut everything down for a year to go out for another bond that's a little bit different or something like that. So it's really about the relationship that y'all have with the board and the community has with the board, but having all this input before you're asking the voters to go out and give them permission to do these things. That's where we just want to be as transparent as possible and have everybody understand how many variables there are on when things are going to be needed and when people are going to have to pull the trigger and things like that. So jumping down to the middle school campuses, I think in the previous meeting, I think we may have accidentally showed a 1,200 student on a middle school, and that was not intentional. We know you have 750 at your existing middle school, and so through 2 days ago, I met with Dr. Knowlton every day this week now. So that's how fluid everything is, and we've been making adjustments. But we had 750 as a middle school to keep growing. And then we had a 4th middle school 2 days ago that we were showing in this chart, but it was so far out, it was 10 years out. And when you add the inflation onto the $50 million middle school, it gets up between 80 and 90 when you add that much inflation over 10 years. So visited with her a little bit about the difference between a 750 and a 900, okay? 900 is 150 more students, which is 6 more classrooms. The cafeteria would need to be a little bit bigger. Performing arts and the athletic facilities would be fairly much the same. So there would be a couple of $1 million extra on each school to get it to 900, but the savings would be 80 to 90 million by not having the fourth school. So that was something that she, quite candidly, was not ready to pull the trigger on. Those are things that we need to talk with y'all, and as we go through the meeting notes with Alex is going to go through those. A lot of the things we heard was keep community community, and we make some assumptions about that small town feel and the way that y'all feel about your district. And so those are all real hard things, but certainly if those needed to be a 750 or an 800 student school, then you'd end up backing these up a little. Well, you can't really back up this one. That's as quickly as we can go. But you'd end up doing every 2 years in another school, and it's more land and all those things. So again, just showing you our thought process. Similar thought process on high school campus. We've always kind of planned on going from 1,000 to 2,200 or 2,400. And the option that we're showing now is doing a 600 student addition right out of the gate, with the possibility of another 600 addition a couple years later. But y'all just went through where we had the second edition 4 years after, and it got moved up to 2 years after. And so that can happen. But we just want to make sure if the community wants to build it all at one time, then we just need to get with a financial expert and make sure that that happens. Can we do that before the people get here and start paying the taxes? So we just want to, again, give you all the most flexibility, give the board the most flexibility, that if they have to do something like that and build it at stages, that they're able to do that. So again, I get very attached to my spreadsheets, so I'm not going to talk anything more about them, but I'll be happy to answer questions after. I'm going to invite Alex up. Our next couple of slides, I'll come over there and you can look at those slides. So that's your clicker, and you can have the mic here.
Hello. So after the last meeting, of course, we all broke out into groups, and you all made your notes on your little table cards. And, of course, I took the notes from the Facebook Live group and compiled them, tried to organize them by site or by function. I don't intend to go through every single bullet point, and I would like this to very much be open. If there's anything you all would like to add, maybe disagree with or anything, we're taking notes. So I would love to expand on this some more if need be. So the first one you see here is for the new elementary schools. A lot of things that came up were expanding fine arts, 3-tiered school day, but I think that was a function of kind of alleviating traffic. So elementary school would be grouped in with that. With the playgrounds, we kind of are helping to make a district standard, but also incorporate all of the required safety measures that are in modern playgrounds. More science labs, safety and security, of course, expanding clubs and teams, maintaining flexible options for growth. And as Jeff hit on, one thing that was left on several cards was keeping community. And we kind of thought that was more of the small town feel, even though obviously y'all have 7,500 houses coming in. And then maintain low student to teacher ratio, and campus equality between cities was another one that was noted on several cards.
Yeah, so I'd like to just say that the maintain the low teacher-student ratio, that's what those coming online at those times will do. So it brings the extra classrooms instead of putting more kids in the one classroom. The other thing I'd like to reiterate that Alex just said is that if there are things that you forgot last week or month to put in here, or there's things that you thought about since then, or some of your constituents brought up some very good points, it's perfectly acceptable and preferable to raise your hand or just shout something out, because we want to make sure that we're getting all that information that we can use over the next month to put together, so we can add those things into the notes. So, yes.
Just a note, online people cannot hear, they can hear me when
Yeah, and of course, please let me know if I completely missed the mark on any of this too. That's valuable as well. So of course you see McClendon on top and Neesmith below there. Those would be part of a remodel. And then of course we want to keep as much equality between them and the new schools as we can. And Old Edge is what Jeff was hitting on with the swing space is what we've kind of started calling it. And I think when talking with Jeff after he met with Dr. Knowlton one of the 3 times this week, this is kind of a unique feature that y'all have in this district, and I think it's something that can play a big role in helping y'all with your growth. Like they touched on earlier, using it first as a kind of 6th grade center to help alleviate some of the growing pains. But then it could also become early childhood. I know district daycare was mentioned. And then it could even help house some of the maintenance facility. And now we don't necessarily need to group all of those functions at the same time, but the life of this building definitely doesn't need to be over once we start adding on. It's something that's a great asset for the district. And then, of course, we'll help address traffic, because that was another hot topic. So Edge and future middle schools, of course with Edge, with it being down kind of the main corridor, we'll address traffic there. And then along with future middle schools, just maintaining that low student-teacher ratio, expanding fine arts, athletics, wood shop, career-oriented classes, safety and security, and then keeping community. And this one with the high school. So what we've kind of laid out, you can see part of what we had is the master plan with the 2-story classroom addition at the south, the cafeteria addition there to the east. And further to the east, you can see where we have the CTE centers laid out for CTE expansion.
And I'll just say that these are just first blushes to show where something could go. We will go through charrette processes and with the community and design for any of the things that we do. So
if we zoom out a little bit here for the athletics, again, as part of the master plan, it was kind of thought that athletics at some point would engulf the space in between the current football stadium and the high school. So what we're showing there with the largest rectangle, kind of orange rectangle, is the indoor or multi-use facility. Also, the 3rd gymnasium to the south of that, or arena, depending on use. And then, of course, with that building would come the areas to serve those functions, including locker rooms. And to the east of that, you can see the 3 green rectangles we have laid out that could be kind of your practice fields, soccer, football practice fields. And then to the north, of course, at the existing stadium, we have it kind of laid out for the upgraded press box and seating capacity for the football stadium. And so for the transportation and ag, of course, this is northeast of the softball and baseball fields. With the growth that you're experiencing and the new facilities that are going to come online, transportation is going to need a lot more space, not just for the buses, but also to take care of the buses. So there will be a relocation for that. But since the ag is already existing there south of the transportation building, we feel that that's a great location to expand the agriculture facility to take in more animal sciences classes, updated equipment. And as Jeff mentioned, it's already there. So once the houses pop up, they know the ag barn's already there. So it's not a surprise if we just moved it next to some people's houses one day. So I thought that's a very good point to sell. And it's just a great location for that ag facility to grow. And then, of course, we have technology. Again, when you're growing fast and you're bringing a lot more facilities online, technology is going to have to keep up. Not only with the infrastructure, but also just with your instructional technology, to give the teachers the latest and greatest to help instruct the kids, and then keep up with data security. Backup generators is definitely good. if you have like a hub, you don't want it to go offline. And then under miscellaneous, not trying to downgrade any of these at all. Of course, you need land for any new building. And then, of course, the infrastructure that goes with those buildings. And then again, to hit on that kind of swing space that y'all have with Old Edge, daycare for staff, alternative education, early childhood, are possibilities to use that space for.
Thank you, Alex. One day, Bree, we're going to put technology right up at the front, so it won't have to be at the tail end of every single meeting. But I think I'm going to turn it over to Mike now to take you into your exercise, which y'all all been waiting for. So, group discussion.
Thank you, Jeff. I always kind of like to highlight that I'm the non-spreadsheet guy, but then I'm going to actually ask you to work on a spreadsheet here real quick. So that's not always that great. So anyway, what we're going to do tonight is, well, we took all those notes from last time and went through that discussion of kind of writing those priorities, which we looked at. If everybody would pull over, there's a white big piece of paper. We're going to ask you to do a couple things here. Everybody's going to fill one of these out this evening. What we'd like you to do is go through this list. We consolidated all those programs, all those facilities into kind of a facility program here. And what we'd like you to do is just rank them. You'll see there's a 1, a 2, or a 3. And the first one is a need. And what we mean by that is that would be a need for this bond. That would be number 1. That's a priority for this bond. A 2 would be a want, so it's kind of on the bubble. So that would be something that we'd love to see in this bond. We think it's a priority. We'd like it to be there, but we're not just sure if it's a need. And then 3 would be, yes, certainly it's a priority, but maybe for a future bond. This would be something that's on the master plan, but maybe a priority for a future bond. So we're going to spend 10 minutes. Everyone at the table is going to fill one of these out, and then we're going to come back and talk about this step 2. But we'll go through this list and rank each one of these a 1, a 2, or a 3, and then we'll be back in about 10 minutes. If you do have any questions, there's a lot of detail on here. Raise your hand. We have lots of experts in the room, so let's bring out, and then if you have any questions, raise your hand, and we'll go from there.
Hi, my name's Chris Mykoski. I am the social media specialist for Community ISD. Appreciate everybody that's watching here tonight. Obviously, we need everybody's input. It's not just those who were able to join us here at Community High School. We want everybody around our community to participate. And a part of that is filling out this list. Earlier, one second, we'll defer to Dr. Knowlton here on this question.
Bottom of all this that may make some of you kind of have to make my heart beat really fast. That is not necessarily a solid number right now. We don't know what all we're going to do, and there are some things that are listed on there that are either ors. You know, like if we did this thing, we would not do this thing, or we would do it this way or that way. And so that number is not just the number that's going to be there. I will tell you that the previous list that we had yesterday or day before had that 4th middle school on it. And so it was actually $90 million more than what you see there. And so we've removed that 4th middle school from this list. But if you'll look through some of those, it won't be that we would do everything on that list. That's one reason we're doing the priority thing here tonight. And it will depend on what you as a committee recommend to the board, and then what ultimately the board decides to put into that bond package as to how much that total will be.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Knowlton, clearing up one issue. You'll see at the bottom of this form, and I'm going to paste a link to this form so everybody who's watching tonight can also take a look at it and fill it out. I'm going to add that to the chat right now. So click on that, and you'll find a PDF copy of the form that everybody in this room is looking at right now. And I'll give you a look in my hand. At the top, you'll see list of potential needs and wants identified. It goes through a list of items, a lot of which we talked about in previous meetings here at the Long Range Facility Planning Committee, beginning with new elementary school number 4, all the way down to a new administration facility. So click on that link to download this PDF, print it out, and then go through the exercise of circling whether each facility listed here that you see as a need, a want, or something that can be pushed to the next bond. So number one, it needs to be on this bond. No question about it. Absolutely has to be there. Number two, something that you see as being on the bubble. It could be dropped, or we could have further discussion about it. That's number two. Number three, it can wait. It still may be a priority, but for a future bond issue. So again, I'm going to, there's the link right there. It's in the chat. Right below that, I'm going to type the email address that you should send this to. So take a look, and then after you fill it out, you can email it to info@communityisd.org. And again, that'll be in the chat, info@communityisd.org. So while the folks in the room are filling this out, you do the same, and then we'll pick it back up with the next speaker in just a few minutes.
All right, this first part of the exercise is going to be just a few more minutes. We're going to do a little bit longer one in a second. So just as you can get to a finishing point, we're going to actually have a group discussion at the table. So probably just another about 3 or 4 minutes, and then we will have a larger discussion at the table. Okay, so finish up, and this is the next step, which will give you a few more minutes. This next stop here. This next part is taking this information, and we're going to do one group spreadsheet. So we're going to agree as a group on one spreadsheet. So we're going to start with a brand new piece of paper. And the reason we do this individually exercise is because it is a conversation point. So somebody at your table might rank one option 1 and another one a 3. So we want to have that discussion of why. So we really want to help get a group kind of prioritize after you take this information, start over, and then go through as a group to get a group consensus on your priority list. So take your information. Let's talk about it a little bit more. We're going to spend actually about 20 minutes on that and start with a brand new clean piece of paper and kind of come to a consensus on the list. Everybody understand that?
Hi again, I'm Chris Mykoski. I am the social media specialist for Community ISD. Here in the room, everybody is having a group discussion now about what they put on the form that I put in the chat there, our list of potential needs and wants identified. So we obviously can't really do that in this virtual setting unless I had all of you who are watching on a Zoom call. It's kind of tough to do. So all I'll say is that, again, we will consider all the information that you put on this form. There's plenty of room on the bottom, by the way, to add your own notes to this if you want something that's to say beyond just ranking all of these different facilities that we have listed. So again, the link is in the chat. Email it when you're done at info@communityisd.org. We will bring it in and we will disseminate it all. That'll likely happen just as soon as we get back from Christmas break. So we'll be looking at that in great detail when that break is over. Thanks for watching, and we will have more from our speakers after the group discussion concludes about 20 minutes from now. Thank you.
All right, we got 5 more minutes to wrap up your group one, and then we're going to have each table talk and go through their priority list. That's a 5-minute call.
Excuse me, all. Excuse me. A question came up that. Excuse me, all. A question came up that I think might influence some of the prioritization of the projects. And the question was, is there anything that needs to be split out into a separate proposition by law? And the way that works is that on the education piece, you can vote either for or against that proposition completely independently. There are 2 items on your list that would need to get split out into a separate proposition to be voted on independently again. So if somebody wanted to, they could vote yes for all the education stuff. The football stadium would need to get broken out. And the other one that would need to get broken out, it's titled High School Edition Classrooms, Gymnastics, and Wrestling. That would need to get broken out away from the educational facilities as well. Now, they could be grouped together into a single prop. You know, this is a political decision that needs to get made, whether it's good that they're on a single prop together or if they're split out into 3 separate props. An indoor facility does not need to be, because it wouldn't be, if it were to be used only for the football team, then it would need to be. If it would be used for other educational matters, which it would be, then it doesn't need to be its own prop, and it could be included in the general proposition for educational facilities. Does that make sense? Okay. The time has been paused. Mike Holmberg, please note that the time has been paused. Okay. All right. Thanks, y'all.
Okay, how we doing? Everybody coming to a consensus? Not? I'm going to add 3 minutes. I'm going to add 4. Okay. 5. I'm going to give you 4.5. Y'all got a 2-minute warning. All right, sounds like y'all are kind of quieting down and getting to a stopping point. Okay, so we're going to have, like we did last time, is have a spokesman for the table. If we could briefly go through just kind of why you rank something, briefly go through the list, and we're going to start all the way down here right to this table, and y'all going to kick it off. And here we go. And Bree's going to talk a little bit about this.
Okay. All right. Okay, so on elementary schools number 4, 5, 6, 7, I'm sick, yes. And new middle school number 2, we had all ones. New middle school number 3 was ones. Okay. Edge Middle School upgrades, athletics, CTE. We have 1 and 2. It was a very hard decision. High school addition number 1, high school addition classroom CTE, dual credit or dual early college credit, and high school addition cafeteria. High school addition number 2 were all ones. High school addition classrooms, gymnastics, and wrestling. We had a question on, but it was clarified, so we changed our answer to 2. High school addition CTE program center. We had a question on because we thought it was encompassed by which one?
The high school addition CTE early dual credit.
By another one that was already the high school addition. Which one? CTE dual credit. We didn't know. We thought it was encompassed by this other one. It's the same thing, basically. Is it?
What is it? So that would be more of the would mean more athletics.
No. The next one. The high school.
Oh, additional CT programs. That was like when we were talking about some of the additional programs in the high school that we mentioned, more program offerings, things of that nature. Yep. So that was, again, some of the questions coming out of that was why some of the larger programs there for this additional CTE space. That would be, again, a larger space for additional offerings for the CTE program. Kind of like what we mentioned last time, some of the priorities were some different offerings coming out of it, so adding a different space there. Yeah. That's expanded that space as well. Oh, that would be to add additional capacity as we grow. And some of these are kind of based on kind of phasing as we get to a larger space.
So one is brand new versus
Andy. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Ninth grade center.
Okay, now that we have clarification, that's a 1. High school 9th grade center, we have a 2. Renovations to McClendon and Neesmith, 2. Upgrades to Old Edge to be swing space. We had a question, but I don't remember what it was. Or we didn't grade it. Yes, we were cut short. An indoor workout facility with locker rooms is 2. Stadium upgrades, 3. Alternative school DAP, 2. Early childhood facility and employee daycare facility, 3. New transportation, bus maintenance, 1. New ag, 2. District maintenance facility warehouse, 1. Police department and additional parking for high school, or for schools and athletics is 2. Technology and security upgrades, 1. District oversight of bond construction, 1. Land purchases for this bond program, 1. Land bank for future bond programs, 2. Allowances for offside roads and utilities for remote sites, 1. And new administration facility, 2.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I'm going to take this with me. All right, here we go. Got a team lead here.
Okay, well, we really struggled between the needs and wants. The only 3 we have is new elementary school number 7.
That was how it's done.
Okay, first off, we gave ourselves a team name, so we are the GOATs. So if you would only prefer to us as that from now on, that would be great. Yes. So elementary schools 4 and 5 we did as a need. 6 and 7 as a next bond. Middle school number 2, a need. Middle school 3, next bond. Edge Middle School upgrades and high school addition number 1 as needs. High school addition for classrooms and additional cafeteria as wants. High school addition number 2, addition to the classrooms, gymnastics and wrestling as a number 3. So next bond, additional CTE program centers as a need. 9th grade center, next bond. Renovations to McClendon as a need. Renovations to Neesmith as a next bond. Upgrades to Edge to be swing space as a need. Indoor workout facilities, stadium upgrades, basically anything to do with athletics, we put that as a next bond item. Alternative school or DEAP as a need. Early childhood facility, employee daycare, and new ag facility as next bond. New transportation and bus maintenance facility as a number 1. We did have questions on that, on if that included new buses, or was that just the facility itself? Just the facility, okay. And then district maintenance facility and warehouse as a need, police department as a want, and then the remainder of the items as needs. And then one of our biggest notes was, in order to do any of the things that we want, we absolutely have to have land to do those things. So that would be, out of everything, our number 1 priority.
Greatest of all time. Just heard it. All righty, here we go.
Okay, so elementary schools 4 and 5 is a 1, 6 is a 2, 7 is a 3. Middle school 2 is a 1, and 3 is a 2. Edge Middle School upgrades is a 3. High school addition 1 is a 1. The high school addition classroom CTE dual credit is a 3. High school cafeteria addition is a 1. High school addition 2 is a 3. The high school addition with gymnastics and wrestling is a 3. The additional CTE program center is a 2. 9th grade center 3. Renovation to McClendon 1. Neesmith 2. Upgrades to Old Edge is a 1. Indoor facility is a 2. Stadium upgrades is a 1. Alternative schools 2. Early childhood and employee daycare both 3. New transportation is 1. New ag facility 2. New maintenance facility 2. Police department 3. Additional parking 1. Technology upgrades 1. District oversight 2. Land purchase for this bond 1. Future bonds 2. Allowances 2. New administration facility 2.
Awesome, thank you.
Okay, we said elementaries 4 and 5 and 6 were a 1. Elementary 7 was a 3. New middle school 1 was a 1. Middle school 2 was a 1. Middle school 3 was a 3. Middle school upgrades were a 1. High school addition was a 1. High school addition CTE dual credit was a 2. High school addition cafeteria was a 1. Addition 2 for the high school was a 1. High school addition gymnastics wrestling was a 2. Additional CTE program center was a 1. High school 9th grade center was a 3. Renovations to McClendon and Neesmith were both 1s. Upgrade to Old Edge, a 2. Indoor workout facility was a 2. Stadium upgrades were a 1. Alternative school was a 2. Early childhood was a 2. Employee daycare was a 1. New transportation was a 1. New agriculture facility, we said upgrade. District maintenance was a 2. Police department was a 1. Additional parking was a 1. Technology was a 1. District oversight was a 1. Land purchase and land bank were 1s. Allowance for offsite was a 2. And new administration facility 3.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And here we go.
Voluntold again. It's fine. All right. So we are going to go with our strategy of saying what we did not do a 1. So elementary 7 was a 3. Let's see. High school additional classrooms, gymnastics, and wrestling. We thought we could use our facilities we already have, so that was a 3. High school additional CTE programs was a 2. Renovations to Neesmith, we said was a 3. Early childhood facility was a 2. Employee daycare facility was a 2. New agriculture facility 2. Police department 2. Everything else was 1. Our additional notes: could the current Edge building be used as a 9th grade center potentially, since it is connected to this area? And can we build 2 middle schools at one time? Because we felt like if we did the 9th grade center, they would have to come at the same time. Can we attain that much land? And maybe 2 to 3 story buildings to best utilize land, since it takes so much for a middle school.
Great comments. Take that with me. Good. Thank you. All righty. Moving on down.
Okay, so I'm going to go with telling you what are 2s and 3s to make it, because most everything's a 1. For sure, the one thing for the new middle schools, we'd like to keep them at 750 if possible. That was important. But we had a 3 for high school edition, classroom gymnastics, wrestling, a 3 for the 9th grade center, 2 for renovations for the elementaries, and 2 for upgrade to Old Edge to be a swing space. 3 for indoor workout facility, and 3 for stadium upgrades, 2 for alternative school, 3 for early childhood center, 2 for employee daycare, 2 for new agricultural facility, but with upgrades, 2 for district, never mind. 2 for police department, 2 for additional parking for schools. We think 1, we need additional parking. We just didn't know where it was going to be. So, and 2 for technology and security upgrades. Everything else is a 1. Oh, what? Oh, and just we were talking about what to do with the old football field behind Edge. We thought that was good real estate, to use there for something. For the rerouting of parking, of like the drop off. I should have you talking because you're much better than me. Okay?
Take that sheet from you.
Oh, did I put our name?
All righty.
All right, I put mine in order of 1s, 2s, and 3s, so I just have to read the needs, the wants, and then the next bond. Here we go. Elementary 4 and 5. Okay, these are all my needs. Elementary 4, or our needs, sorry, not me, group. We, not me. Elementary 4 and 5 need middle school 2, high school edition 1, high school cafe renovations for MES, upgrades to Old Edge, employee daycare, new transportation, new maintenance, CISD oversight of bond package land for this and future, and the off-site road thing. We were a 2 on that, and then Jeff explained the why, so we get it now. Wants elementary 6 EMS upgrades, high school 2 renovations at NES, stadium upgrades, DAEP, new ag barn, tech upgrades, and new admin building. Next bond, new middle school number 3, high school gymnastics, wrestling, high school 9th grade center, early childhood, police department, additional parking and indoor facility. But we do like the idea of ninth grade center, when that happens, being edged so that they're all on one side of the road. That would help with the 3-layered thing. And we're done.
Kind of felt like an auctioneer there.
Top math, you gotta go fast.
All righty, here we go.
All right, so we did the elementary schools 4 through 6 as a 1, and then elementary schools 7 as a 2, both middle schools as 1s, the upgrades to Edge as a 2, the high school edition and the high school edition classroom CT dual credit as 1s, the high school edition cafeteria as a 2, high school edition number 2 as a 1, high school edition gymnastics wrestling as a 2, the CT program center as a 2, the ninth grade center as a 3, the upgrades, the next 3 of those we did as 1s. The indoor workout facility we did as a 1. The main thing there was just the idea of it being a multi-use facility so that multiple people could utilize that, being whether it be cheerleaders, it'd be band, it'd be soccer, it'd be football, it'd be baseball. There would be a space that they could all utilize that indoors out of the weather. Stadium upgrades as a 2, the alternative school as a 3, the early childhood and employee daycare as a 2, a new transportation and bus facility as a 1, new ag facility 2, the district maintenance facility and warehouse as a 1, police department and additional parking as 2, technology, district oversight of bond and land purchase for this bond as a 1, future purchases as a 2, and then our last 2 both as 1s. I will note that I was a 2 on the new administration facility, but my wonderful table group voted it as a 1. So, and I will put this to the record. My name on it. I voted 2.
Is that the group 1? All right, getting turned around there. All right, last table here.
I'm going to summarize what we did. Essentially, we said that the needs were pretty much building the schools, renovating the current schools, and then things like purchasing the land, and some of the wants and the next bond sort of stuff was essentially the athletics programs, the CTE programs, the ag programs, things like building the new police department and the new admin facility.
All right, we need a better round of applause for all that. Thank you all so much for that work. I know that's not easy to do, and we're really looking for that insight. So y'all did a great job of helping prioritize. Let me just kind of tee up kind of what we use this information for. We're going to take this back, kind of synthesize it down, and bring back some options for y'all to vote on. So the next meeting is really important as we work toward a recommendation. As we started this process, we kind of started up here, and we're kind of slowly coming toward a recommendation. We're going to bring back several options to vote on and come to kind of together as a larger group to kind of form a consensus. Today we're in individuals, got down to smaller groups. We'll come together as a larger group to form a consensus for the next bond package. So I am going to turn this back over before we move on right now to...
So just wanted to remind you, this was my part, just to kind of bring us back after this meeting and discussion of all of the things. This is kind of our three things that we're looking at, right? The 7,500 homes that are coming in, the 6,000 students in 5 years. But if you go back to look at some of those numbers, it is, I'll be honest with you, and hearing Dr. Knowlton a while ago, that our numbers are already almost to the next year. It's like, I don't even know if I want to tell them these numbers because they're probably going to be different next meeting. And so that's just crazy with the numbers right now. And so you feel it. So here's 3 things that I have, and I just want to leave you with is this. Number 1, thank you for coming. We really do appreciate you coming and being a part, and it shows that you care. But because you care, and we know you do, second thing, pass the word. All right, pass the word. We have to go out and tell people and help them see the need. And so here's the kicker, though. Every single person who has a kid in the school district, every person who's sitting in traffic lines, everybody who's walking the hallways, everybody who has kids coming home and talking to them, all these things, probably even the ones that are on social media, they see and feel the need. But there are also those who don't yet. And so there are those who have kids that aren't in the school district yet. There are those who whose kids have graduated. They still live in the school district. And so would you pass the word to them and help them see the need? And then lastly, and I'm sorry that I didn't have the voter registration cards and all that stuff for you, but you have to register to vote and pass the word for voter registration. And so if you meet new neighbors, wherever that is, in church or the park or the school or whatever, and you have all these people that are moving in, help them to say, hey, we have a bond coming up, register to vote, so that they can also be a part of the process. And so, hey, thanks again for coming, guys.
Okay, guys, I just want to kind of finish up with this to remind you, number one, thank you so much for being here tonight and giving your input. This input is so important as the district moves forward to have to make these really important decisions for where we're going to go. I do want to remind you that what's going to happen with all this is input. So ultimately, our school board will make a decision on what bond package will be called if they decide to call for a bond election. So what they will do, you heard from table to table, there are differences of opinions just in this room on what's important and what's not. So I ask that you would, through this process, just make sure we're respecting everybody's opinions and what there's needed. And some people have more insight into certain programs or facilities than other people do. And so that's the reason we really wanted a diverse group that could bring different perspectives into this discussion. And then the options that will be put together for the board to, or for this committee to decide on which one goes, will be a combination or an accumulation of all of that. The voices that you've brought here, the voices that we get from our online piece, and then some of the district input that will be given as well. Mr. Jeff will be meeting with all of our program people in the next few weeks when we come back, and we'll be finding out more information about them to find out if what we've kind of estimated for different things that are on this are adequate, if we've included the things that needed to be included on those lists. So just a reminder that your voice is very, very important, and I know that our board members are very appreciative of you as a community to come out and be a part of this process. I think the next meeting is going to be really exciting because we've been building up to this, and now on January the 13th, mark your calendars, on January the 13th at 6:30, we will meet in here again, and at that time they will present two or three options, and we'll kind of discuss those options, and then this committee will vote on which of those options will be taken to the January 24th board meeting to be recommended to the board as a bond proposal. Are there any questions tonight about anything that we've talked about, or any questions that you think need to come out to the general group here tonight? Experts, anything else we need to add before we go? All right. Thank you guys so much for being here. You are dismissed. Make sure that you are here again on January 13th. Thank you.